Hello everyone, my name is Cloud, also known as CloudSave, and welcome to episode 1 of a new series I'm going to be doing, where I show you guys how to code your own custom Minecraft mods. So there's a couple things that you're going to need before we start. First of all, you're going to be needing Visual Studio Code. This is a program that allows you to edit the files inside of a mod, and all this stuff on the left hand side here. And we're also first, we're actually in Visual Studio. We're going to be getting some extensions, but I'll explain that later. And the other thing that you're going to need, all the links to these will be in the description, by the way, is a thing. This is the Fabric example mod. This is a zip file that just comes with all of the things that you need to make a Fabric mod. So you just open this and then you can work from there. So if we're making it for 1.16, you just want to hit this code button, then click on download zip. Now, I've already downloaded the zip, and that's what folder is open here on the left side, but I'll show you how to do that. So before we start importing our file that we've downloaded and all that jazz, we need to go on the left-hand side over here and click on extensions. Now, I have a ton of extensions over here, but this is not all the extensions you'll need. I'll put all of the extensions that you'll need that just make your life a whole lot easier and better in the description below. Just click the link, hit install or download or something, and then it'll show you, it'll say do you want to open Visual Studio Code? And then you just press yes, and then it will put it on here and install it for you. So now we need to get to the actual coding of mods and stuff. So the file that you downloaded before, the Fabric example mod, that should be in your downloads. I recommend creating a separate folder for all of your mods to be stored in and stuff like that. So as you can see here, I have 3 files. This is tutorial mod, which is what I've got open here. And these 2 are the example mods I downloaded. So what I recommend doing is keep this folder downloaded, the master version, double click it, go to this file, copy it, and then paste it here. Once you've pasted it, rename it to whatever you like, whatever your mod's going to be called. And this folder here is that exact thing, except I just renamed it to tutorial mod. So then what you want to do is you want to go file, open folder, and then navigate to this folder that you've created. So once you've opened it, there should be, your screen should look relatively similar to this. This gray box here might say something like welcome in the top left, or something about Java or something. You can just close, there should be a little X button, you can hit that, and then it should look like this. So now first of all, what we want to do is we want to go onto the left sidebar and we want to click on Gradle.properties. Now this folder, there's a couple things that we need to change. So there's a ton of different settings here that we're going to change. So what you want to do is you want to head to a website. The link will be in the description, but the website is modmus50.me/fabrichtml. I'll just type it out here. modmus50.me/fabric.html. That is the link. You should be able to find that in the description. This is where we can get the modmus50 values to put into these things. So if you're wondering what the modmus50 values are, those are just, this is a website created by, I'm pretty sure the guy's name is called modmus50, and it's basically just a ton of different settings that help us, instead of having to know what to put in all these parts, you can just copy and paste them straight in based on the version you chose. So in the top left, you should be able to choose the Minecraft version. In this case, we're choosing 1.16.5 because that's what we chose when we downloaded this mod. Then there should be a little panel that says Gradle.properties, and then in brackets, it'll say example mod. You just want to highlight Minecraft version, yarn mappings, and loader version, and then copy and paste those into the settings that you have on here. So I would go to the website, copy them, and paste them into the part that I have in Gradle.properties. And then in that same Gradle.properties, in brackets example mod on the website, it has a little thing at the bottom that says hashtag Fabric API Fabric version. You don't need to copy the hashtag Fabric API, but you need to copy and paste the Fabric version into the Fabric version in Gradle.properties. And there we go. So these are the settings that I have, and we're actually still not done. We need to configure the mod properties part of this thing. So here where it says mod version, this just states what version your mod is in. So I'm going to set this to 0.0.1 because that's what I like to set it to. Then if I do updates, it'll be 0.0.2, 0.3, and then if I get to 9, you just do 0.1.0, stuff like that. Now this is the Maven group. So the Maven group, all it is your name, so CloudSave, dot whatever your mod is called, so tutorial dot mod. And if the words have spaces in it, you just put another dot in between each space. The only thing that doesn't have spaces in it is your name. Your name is always on one line, even if your name does have spaces in it. The next here is the archive's base name, which is the exact same as what you did above, but instead you just use dashes instead of periods. And there we go. You can save that and you're done in Gradle.properties. You can hit close out of that now. So now what you want to do is you want to open up the src folder by clicking on this arrow here. Then you want to open the Java, then open Mixin. Then you want to head down to resources, open resources, and open assets. That will expand everything from here to here. So all of this should be the exact same. I've just highlighted it so you can see that this is what should be the exact same. Next, you need to make your way to fabric.mod.json. This file has all the settings for our mod. So let's start at the top. The mod ID is very important. You just need to have the name of your mod, so tutorial mod, with no spaces and no capitals. The name of your mod you can do, so tutorial mod. This time you can have spaces and capitals. The description is a description of what your mod is about. And yes, you can have capitals and spaces. So this mod is a tutorial mod. The authors will all just be who the authors are for this mod. If you want to add another author, you just add a comma here. Go to the next line, add 2 quotation marks. If you're using Visual Studio, you'll only need to press it once and it adds 2. And then just put the next author. But because I'm the only one making this mod, I don't need to put 2 authors, so I can just get rid of that. Next is the home page and the sources. So I am going to get rid of these 2 and just put my YouTube in the home page. Here, this icon, basically when you have the mod list, it'll show this icon in the mod list. So you just want to make sure that the words mod ID are the exact same as the mod ID that you put up here. Next up is the main entry point. So the main entry point is the same Maven group that we wrote here in Gradle.properties with cloudsave.tutorial.mod, but with one slight change. So if I go here, if I do cloudsave.tutorial.mod, we need to add another dot that is just our mod name without any spaces but with capitals. Next, here with mixins, you just need to replace mod ID with your mod ID. So for me, it's tutorial mod. And now you're done with fabric.mod.json. Now we need to apply main entry points and stuff like that. So over on the left, you see it says Java Net Fabric MC example. We need to change these 3 folders to what we put in our main entry point. So net, we need to rename to be our name. So I put CloudSave here. So net would be CloudSave. We need to change Fabric MC to the second word we put, so tutorial. If you get a notification that says something like this about Red Hat language support and that, just hit OK. Then after you've done tutorial, you want to change example to the third name or third word that you put in the main entry point. So for me, it's mod. If you need to add more files, all you got to do is right click and make a new folder. Just make sure that from mixin down to modid.mixins are in the last folder in this line. So now we need to head over to assets and change this folder that says modid to your modid. So for me, it's tutorial mod. Then we need to head to modid.mixins, rename that to our modid, so tutorial mod.mixins. Then inside of tutorial mod.mixins, we want to get rid of net.fabricmc.example, keep the .mixin, just like that, and do what you put for your Maven group. So cloudsave.tutorial.mod.mixin. The last step we need to do is we need to open up terminal, click on new terminal, and that should put a terminal here in the at the bottom of your screen. You want to run this command exactly how I've done it here. So /, it's got to be this slash. So it's going to be the slash next to shift, /Gradle W gen sources. I'm just warning you that it is case sensitive. If all of these are uppercase, it won't work. It needs to be the exact same as what I've done. And this should be the only letter, this S should be the only letter that's an uppercase. Then you just want to hit enter. It will start doing its thing. It might take maybe 5 minutes. That's normally how long it takes for me. And then we have to do one more command and then we should be ready. So now that you've done that, it should here say build successful. Took me 5 minutes and 31 seconds. What you want to do is you want to type the next command, which the starting part is the same, /gradle w, but the next thing you want to type is VS Code. That stands for Visual Studio Code. Press enter. This normally only takes like a couple seconds. And yep, as you can see there, it says build successful in 10 seconds. So now once you've done this, you can go over to this left panel, click on the run and debug. It's like a play button with a little bug thingy, or you can press Control Shift and D at the same time. Then at the top there should be a green play button that should, if you stop moving your cursor, it'll say Start Debugging. Press the green arrow, and in theory it should run. It will open up a debug console. Like there'll be a thing that opens, stuff will start moving. If you have a look at the debug console, it'll tell you what's going on, and I guess we'll see if it loads. Okay, so as you can see, when I tried to run this, I actually got an error. Now this is okay, so I've worked out the problem. If you get an error, which you most likely will, because if you're following this tutorial and you somehow got something right, you need to click over here. I'll do the same with both the mixin and the mod. You need to click on example-mod.java and rename this to what your mod is called, with capitals. So tutorial-mod.java. Now if you hit OK, it should automatically change the class to the name that you've set it to. But if it doesn't, just change the public class and then this part right here to the same name as tutorial-mod.java. Hit save and then do the same with mixin. So rename this to tutorial-mod mixin. Hit enter, hit OK, and it should change the class to tutorial-mod mixin. Now there's actually one last thing we have to do. We have to go into tutorial-mod.mixins.json and change the client here, this example mixin, to the same name we put in the mixin folder here, so tutorial-mod mixin. Hit save on all of the files, and then try running the game again, and that should work. And as you can see here, I just want to turn off music because I don't like the music. The game has loaded. So I just quit it out of the game. Now we can actually get to coding all of the different things that we need to. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to add your own custom item. So first of all, we need to navigate to tutorial-mod.java. You can delete the systemout.println and all of the code that is in the // So if you hit delete and just hit tab, you're back here. So we're going to go to tutorial-mod.java. So you're going to write the following line of code inside the onInitialize method, which if you didn't know is these lines here, @override and public void onInitialize. You're going to go inside of that and write registry.register registry.item, comma, space, new identifier, brackets, quotation marks, your mod ID, so for me that's tutorial mod, comma, more brackets, and then the name of your item. So I'm going to add cloud because I'm going to be adding clouds. Also in both of these, you cannot have any capitals or special characters. And then after that, you need to do a comma and you need to write the name of your item, but in all capitals. And then a semicolon to finish it off. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of red messages. So what you want to do is you want to hover over each problem, go to quick fix, and then import one of the registries. Now, I've found from my experience, you always want to import the net.minecraft registry. So each import that you want to do net.minecraft, each one. So for identifier, you want to do the import. If there was more, you'd choose the net Minecraft. Even if it's not at the top, you choose whichever one has net Minecraft at the very top. Now here it says cloud, which it just says create constant change to, stuff like that. So to fix this error, what we need to do is here we need to type public static final item, the name of your item, so for me it's cloud, equals new item, brackets, item dot settings, brackets, dot group outside of the brackets, more brackets, item group dot, And then here we can select the item group in the creative menu. So it's a cloud, so I'm just going to select miscellaneous and then end that with a semicolon. Then do the same thing that we did before. So just import and choose the net.minecraft one over all of them. Hello, future cloud here, or editing cloud. I did make a mistake and I didn't even mention it when I fixed it. So on the line public static final item your name equals new item, you want to change the item.settings to new space item.settings. So like what we did just like a bit before that new item, it's the same thing, so new item.settings. So just before the item.settings, just put new and a space. That's all you need to do. Save that, and that would have added the item to the game. But if you go into the game, it's not going to have a texture, it's not going to have a name, it's not going to have anything. So in the resources folder, you want to go to resources, assets, tutorial mod, and inside of tutorial mod, you want to make a new folder, and you want to call this textures. And then not inside of textures, it's the same directory, so still in tutorial mod, you want to make another new folder and call that models. Then you want to make one last final folder and call that lang. So let's go through each of these. First of all, we're going to be adding a texture. So now that I've made my own texture, what we want to do is we want to go into the textures folder, new folder, item, and then another new folder, but not inside of item, inside of textures, another new folder called block. I'm not going to be adding a block today, but I'll just add it to the textures folder, just so we don't have to later. Inside of the item folder, what you want to do is you want to get your PNG. It has to be a PNG, and drag it into item right here. And there we go. This is the cloud I do. Obviously, it's not that good. It's sort of really bad. It's not like proportion-wise anything good, but I just needed to make something so that you could see how to add stuff to the game. So now we finished with the texture. Now we've got to assign the texture to this item. So what we want to do is we want to open the models folder, add a new folder called item, and do the same thing we did before. Add a new folder, another new folder called block. Inside of the item folder, we want to go new file, and then we want to say cloud, or whatever your item's called, .json. Next, what we want to do is inside this JSON file, we want to paste in, or you want to copy all these lines of code here. The only thing that you'll need to change is obviously you need to change your mod ID to tutorial mod, or whatever your mod ID is, and change /item to whatever your item is called. So mine is cloud. Save that. And in theory, if everything goes according to plan, we're done with the models folder. So basically what this has done is, this has assigned the PNG that we've got here in textures, the cloud.png, to our item, which is cloud. Next, now we've finished with the textures and the models, now we need to go to lang and give our cloud a name. So what you need to do is you need to make a new file inside of lang called en_us.json. Now, en_us is a language, so if you speak English, just do en_us. I'm not sure what the others are for different languages. So next, what we want to do is we want to add 2 curly brackets, 2 quotation marks, and we want to go item.tutorial mod, and then whatever it's called, so cloud, then do a colon, space, 2 curly brackets, then whatever you want the item to be called, so with capitals. So mine, I want it to be called cloud, and there we're done. That should make it so it's called cloud in game. What you can do is you can press run and debug, press the green play button, and test to see if it works. So I guess let's see. So I'm here in a super flat world, and if we go into here, we should, if we go to miscellaneous, should be at the very bottom. There we go, cloud, and everything's worked. So the items in the game, it has a texture, and it's called cloud. There we go, we've added clouds to the game. So thanks for watching the tutorial. If you guys enjoyed it and want to see more, please do hit that subscribe button, it'd really help out a lot. And also comment down below what you want me to show you how to add next.